Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the authors of a new book that we have coming out. Actually, it came out today. Oh my gosh. The Ultimate Guide to Leaving Your Legacy. 22 powerful lessons on leading as a soul professional. Before I introduce these amazing women to you today, a huge thank you goes out to Camille Miller. Camille is the lead author of this book. And Camille, thank you so much for your vision and your mission, what you do at the Natural Life Business Partnership. And this is your third book in this very powerful series with experts who are stepping up to really redefine legacy. I mean, it is that good, you guys. Wait till you hear from our authors today. So just a huge gratitude to Camille for walking this publishing path with me over the last few years and putting out these beautiful, beautiful books. So as a mind and body alchemist for women over 50, Diane Amelia Reed helps busy midlife women create an easy, personalized approach to building strength and vitality for lifelong independence. Welcome, Diane.
Hey.
We have Dr. Dora Wolfe. She's the former CEO of Wolfe Behavioral Health and founder of Your Mental Health Mentor, an online educational platform currently in development. Welcome, Dora.
Thank you.
And Laura Bell is here. She's the owner of Full Life Wellness, where they champion women, mainly moms, to lean into self-discovery as a path to healthy connections with their children. I can't wait to get into these conversations with you guys today. Diane, you're going to start the party off. Give us the why behind this legacy chapter that you wrote.
Yeah, thanks. My chapter is called From Status Quo to Surf Life in Mexico, the third one in the book. And I felt compelled to tell this particular story from my life because it provides two lessons I learned that also kind of seem relevant to addressing limitations I hear many people self-impose, just like I used to, and sometimes still do. But the first is about reframing language that we use to speak about ourselves, moving away from identity statements like for instance, I have anxiety, and shifting them to statements of circumstance like I sometimes experience anxiety. And it may seem like nuance and wordsmithing, but it's powerful because it's so much easier to feel like you can change a circumstance than you can change your identity. That certainly came into play for me. And the second lesson is about how to practice taking little tiny risks so you create a little bit of a successful track record for yourself. So when that big, exciting, and of course, terrifying, life-changing risk comes along, you've got the confidence to say, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So both lessons provide a path to helping you live your best and your fullest life. And to me, providing that example to others is just about the best way you can leave a legacy.
All right, so let's back up a little bit to this subtle word shift.
Yeah.
This is so important, you guys. I call it a ninja move of awareness because I believe, and I think probably Diane will agree, you're creating your life in every statement you make about yourself. So Diane, tell us more about why that's so important. Like, I loved the anxiety one that you gave as an example. What have you seen this do for people?
Well, what I've seen it do for me is literally change my life. And as I work with others, I see it happen there too, particularly in one of the areas I work in, which is women's fitness over 50. And we often come into that age with some real fixed ideas about what our bodies will and won't do. And I hear so many women start with me saying, oh, I can't. And we start reframing to, well, what can you do? And as we start just switching from can't to can, the whole perspective changes and a success trajectory emerges. Because when you are thinking, what can I do? What can I do? It's like putting that question into Google. You're going to get answers to that question as opposed to saying, well, what can't I do? Because that's a whole different list and not one that's very helpful.
Just a moment on the risk taking, because this is another really powerful, powerful topic. I think you said tiny risks, right? Take small ones, take the small steps first. So it builds a muscle, right? Tell us
Right.
more.
No need for bungee jumping, unless that's your jam.
No,
But
thanks.
yeah, I'll do a lot, but bungee jumping isn't one of them. Risk is different for everyone. Some people would be terrified to bungee jump, and some people are like all up on it, but they wouldn't take themselves out to dinner alone in a fancy restaurant because that just feels way too risky. So it's about finding those little risks that feel just the other side of your comfort zone and giving it a shot. And with every time you do that, you re-identify yourself as someone who can do those things. Yeah, I can do that. I did that. Maybe I wasn't, it scared me and I didn't like it at first, but then it wasn't so bad. And bottom line, I did it. What next?
I love it. Thank you, Diane. Thank you for being here today and sharing with everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, in a moment, you have even the light bulb of that goes something like, oh, I feel like that's risky. Why?
Yeah.
This can be life-changing, you guys. And so I love how we're kicking this off today. Dr. Dora Wolfe, what's the why behind this legacy chapter for you?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. I met Camille actually when she was doing her last book, and she asked me to be a part of it, and life circumstances just got in the way, and I wasn't able to. And before I'd even heard about this book, I had been sitting and contemplating this idea of legacy. And I think as we get into our fifth decade of life, these topics start to, surface, and we start to think about this. And so I was, like I said, I was thinking about this, and it was no more than 48 hours later that Miss Camille sent out the email and said, hey, do you want to be a part of this book? And I jumped at the chance and I said, absolutely, this is exactly what I've been thinking about. And she just let me know recently I was the first one to sign up because it was something very near and dear to my heart that I had been thinking about. And it all has to do with my kids. And it was this idea of, as you start to think about your legacy, many of us think about, the materialistic sort of things, the things you leave in your will or a trust or whatever it is that you may develop throughout your career. But to me, legacy is very much about who we are as people, and what we want to pass down to future generations regarding our sense of self and who we are in the world. And so that really got me excited about this project, that I would have the opportunity to really speak to my children and have something in writing in terms of what I wanted to ensure I pass down to them.
Oh, those kids, they get us, don't they? So, what you said earlier about your decades roll along, and it seems like now in this time of life we start to think about these topics. But what you made me think about was, wow, what if we thought about that a little earlier, or even just understood the topic earlier, because so many young people put so much importance on the material stuff, right? And so, like, what matters the most about that? What do you want them to know, those youngins?
Well, right? We spend so much time, I think, and especially in this world of materialism, trying to get things and accrue more and achieve more. And I think that the older we get, the more we realize how little all of that truly matters. And what matters is, again, who we are in the world, how we have presented ourselves in the world, And so by being able to do this, my kids are still relatively young. My son is in his 20s. I have a 17-year-old daughter. I'm really hoping to, it started a lot of conversation, and it was a way for me to really talk to my kids about this, and then hopefully put something in writing that is not only for them, but somebody else out there who, may happen across it, and get them to start to think about who they are and what truly matters to them in their lives.
I love that it started conversations for you. Like, you win. Even if that's the only thing that happens, because that great conversation can be completely life-changing, just a perspective change. I love that so much. Dora, thank you so much. Thanks for saying yes. Thanks for being the first one. I love it.
Well, thank you.
All right, Laura, tell us, what's the why behind your chapter?
Oh my gosh, it's big. My chapter is a parent's resource, how to navigate a child's desperate behavior. In my bio in the book, you'll see that I started out, I was working as an interior decorator of sorts. I was designing, building window treatments and so forth. But an experience in my life shifted me dramatically. One of my daughters was experiencing anorexia. So I never thought I would share that story publicly the way I did. However, the stress that parents are under and the life-changing results that I was able to experience together with her, especially the way I approached it, I felt like it was important for people to hear this story and see that things happen. Like, it doesn't mean you're a bad parent or, you've done something wrong in some way. It's more about how do we navigate this new experience and shift the story so that we, and both us and our children, can have a growing and learning experience through it rather than making it a bad thing. So that's why I shared it.
It's so hard, isn't it? Just carrying on now this conversation about being a parent and moving through these things. I loved how you said what Diane modeled earlier. She was experiencing this, right? And I love that you that you did that just now as another example, because when it's something that happens when you're so young and you identify with that, wow, can that carry on, right? But to have an awesome mom like you with the awareness that you have, that's going to change things. And I think that's really the piece, right? What that awareness. On the bad days for you, did you have a practice for yourself?
Yes.
I would
The first-
imagine.
Yeah, well, I was a very spiritual person always. So I did share some things in the book, but the biggest thing I can share at this moment is I paused. I didn't go into reaction. I paused. Every time I saw something new, I stopped and thought and prayed and just thought, okay, let me get centered so that I can show up as the best person for her, because I knew enough about reactory, responses and how fragile this situation was that I wanted to empower her, but I needed to empower myself to show up in that way. I had to first feel empowered in order to, and so then, as the chapter brings out, the course of actions I took for myself made a difference in how I could be with her rather than, I stood beside her and empowered her instead of, shame, not just shaming her, but telling her what to do, like all the things. I wanted it to be her idea. So I learned how to think and then question her and, ask questions.
I
Yeah.
mean, people, these are ninja moves. And I am gonna, like, we talk about it like it's so easy, and we've been in it and we've been practicing. You all are master teachers. and you've, committed your lives to understanding these awareness processes and being the people you are in the world. And I love hanging out in the sandbox with you guys for this reason. But as Laura talks about this, I that is hard to do. And in the moment, even if our listeners take away that piece where like there's power in a pause, man, just pause a moment before you open your mouth and feel it inside of you. Because I think our discomfort creates a reaction. And so you taking responsibility for that, Laura, is everything. I love it. Anything else you want to say about that?
Yeah, I just want to say that writing that chapter was a huge move on my part because it helped me to, I don't think I really understood what I did until I was writing the chapter,
Mm.
Because I deconstructed the process and I just hope it serves someone. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And even just hearing this conversation today is definitely going to help somebody understand it at another level. Laura, thank you. Thank you also for saying yes to this and for being
Yeah,
here
that
to
was
share.
that was a big thing.
Yeah, I know. I know it is for a lot of people. We're helping so many people. A huge thank you to the three of you for not just saying yes, but like I also challenged you to be vulnerable and to allow people to get to know you a little bit and why you're even writing about legacy, and you all did it so brilliantly. The chapters also have these practical tools and experiences you guys get to do, from the chapters. So I'm so excited about that piece too, because you're in such good hands with these coaches and therapists and teachers and master teachers in this book. So, Dora, I'm going to come to you with this. Camille trademarked a term called soul professional. And I love that term. What does it mean to you? Being a soul professional.
Well, I think that kind of goes to the chapter that I wrote in the book, which is about leading with love and authenticity, and being able to step into your truth. Another interesting situation that I ended up in with Camille was when she had first, when we talked about her last book that she did, and a story that I had shared regarding, I was very successful in the private practice that I founded. But I founded it from a place of truly loving what I do, and loving to be of service to people and just to bring my knowledge of everything that I've learned to people. That really comes from my soul. Like that was the genuine thing. And what I wasn't prepared for was this idea of business that sometimes really gets in the way, where you have to start thinking about numbers and profits and all of that, and how I really started to lose myself when all of a sudden there was this shift to focusing on other things. I was growing this business and it was expanding, and it took a lot of work to kind of get back to my why and why I started. And it was one of the reasons why I chose to shift out of private practice and into another platform, because it was a way for me to kind of come full circle and remember why I was doing this. And I think when you're a soul professional, money's great and there's nothing wrong with, making money and having goals. But if that's your only why, I think you very easily lose yourself. And so being able to, like I said, come back full circle and remember why I was doing all of this, coming from a place of authenticity, going inward and discovering what your truth is, who you really are, why you are really here, I think makes all the difference. And if you lead with that, I think that you're leading with your soul. And I think that's the definition to me of a soul professional.
I love it. I love the way that you kicked that question off. Okay. Let's it's so hard to go second and third after that beautiful description, isn't it? Laura, you're next. What do you want to add to that? Like, what has being a soul professional meant to you?
I love the question. And I want to say that the program I'm revamping, actually, I always called the art of soulful parenting. So I have thought a lot I've thought a lot about that word in the first place. And of course, that's what attracts me to Camille. But so I'm going to read you a definition that really resonates with me, and maybe it'll add to what's already been shared. It says a timeless presence, a reliable, calm, and detached from daily drama that pulls us in many directions. A person who can be in touch with their self throughout most days is what we call a soulful person, a person of inherent beauty and serenity. And so I guess that's why I called it my program by, use that word in there, because to me it's a grounding strength that allows you to lead in difficult times, whether you're a parent or just a person living life. It's that solidness that allows you to flourish out, from the inside.
Love it. I love that addition too. You guys are just giving the juiciest of answers here. Okay, Diane, what do you want to add to that? What's it meant for you?
So I didn't start my business until I was 60, and that's coming up on 7 years ago.
Yay.
Hey. And along with the launch of my business came a real deep dive into my own personal development. And what I have learned and evolved to over time is taking the greatest guidance from my highest self. And it doesn't really matter the work that I'm doing, whether it's personal services or what the work is. When I or you or anyone is really aligned with their soul, their highest self, boy, it all just gets richer, smarter, more synchronistic. Everything clicks, and it just makes life easier. So if that's my best attempt at a definition of a soul professional, it's not so much about the work you do, but how you align yourself to do it.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. This is such a great example too of why I also love bringing you all together on a topic like legacy for this book. We really need all of the ways you're all talking about it. We need your unique voice and definition. We need it in exactly the way only you can express it. And so it's why I love these books that will definitely resonate with you, our readers, in terms of the way that somebody is saying it, or the little spark or the light bulb you need to have. You're going to get it because we've included all of these beautiful voices in this book. So, okay, here's the biggie. This question, right? It's a big question, but Laura, what's the most important thing you want people to know about leaving their legacy in the world?
I think so a legacy, it's already in you. It's already in you. And it's the inside discovery that allows you to flourish on the outside. So if you get to understand who you are, and then you just be that, there is your legacy. There it is.
I love that answer. It's not always so easy, is it? Just, that self-discovery. I'm going to back up to one. I think two of you were talking about this before, but when you decide to open up a business, whether you knew it or not, you have been shoved onto a self-development journey. Right. So most people don't go like, yeah, I want to be an entrepreneur because I'm going to be doing the hardest work of my life, they do it for time and money freedom. And that's even funny sometimes if you think about how hard we work as entrepreneurs, right? But I love that. And I love also that all of you are helping people on that journey. Diane, how about you? What's the one thing you want people to know about leaving their legacy?
that in all of time, before, now, or after, there will only be one you, and it matters. So, dovetailing on the message, be your authentic self. Seek out the gifts that you landed on this planet to deliver, and make it happen. It's not selfish. It's not selfish. That's what I hear so often. It's important. The world needs your unique special gifts. That's your legacy, and getting to do that is fun. And again, really, really important, not just for yourself, but the example you lead and the positive impact you make on the world.
Yeah, it matters for sure. I love that. Okay, Dora, you're going to close us out today with this last question. What's that one thing that you want people to know about leaving their legacy?
Well, first, I'd like to say I think that I completely agree with what the other two ladies have said, and said very beautifully. We have talked a lot in the word alignment, which is one of my favorite words. We have used that a lot. I think that, again, it goes back to discovering who you are and what your why is in the world, and aligning with that, leading with that. And if I could ask people to do one thing, it would be to do it sooner rather than later. Figure it out now. It's important now. Who you are is central to everything that you're going to do in this world and what matters to you. So take the time to discover that.
I love it. Oh my goodness, ladies. Powerful, powerful conversation. I am thinking of one last thing on this. I'm thinking of that moment where I was sitting looking at the sky, literally going, I have no idea who that authentic self is. And if you guys are listening and you're in that space, right? All three of our authors talked about that. Find that place, discover that alignment, figure that out. And if you're like, I don't know, then good. You are in the spot of the biggest possibility of your life, the biggest opportunity of your life. And I think the one thing I want to add is my GPS to that was joy.
Mhm.
So it's not going to be far off for you. It's going to be what helps you feel good, joyful, love-filled, and grateful. And so that is alignment to me. So I loved that y'all talked about it. There you go. Today, for those of you who aren't visually watching this, today look for joy. And that was the sign that Diane just showed to everyone. So authors, thank you so much. Thank you for what you do in the world. And thanks for being here today to share it with everyone. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So you guys remember to join us for the book launch party. We're going to have a Zoom party on September 20th at 10 a.m. Eastern. I've got info down below for you. Maybe you heard something today that sparked your interest or gave you the goosebumps, or you have a question or you want to continue the conversation. This is way more than a book. This is a generous community of experts. Drop down into the show notes. I have all of our authors hooked up with their websites, and explore, see what they're up to in the world. Check out their programs and all of the different things. It's a lot of awesome there. And you can actually go grab your copy of The Ultimate Guide to Leaving Your Legacy today, you guys. Hop over to Amazon. I've got the link down below for that. Grab your copy of this beautiful book. And lastly, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.